I'm thinking about the erosion of the United States and what this means moving forward. And here's what freaks me out, all right? We got this story here. This one, from Forbes. Anticipating war with China. The U.S. Air Force is fanning out across the Pacific. So the U.S. Air Force is concerned that a Chinese rocket attack would wipe out two of our most prominent Air Force bases. So we are dispatching all of these different squadrons to different airports and different islands all across the Pacific. So we have rapid response. We've decentralized, so they can't just take us out. This gets me worried because we have another story here. I covered this last week, June 1st. Pentagon eyes new bombs for war with China, not ISIS. The Pentagon's been shifting up its strategy. No longer are we engaging in preparations for war in the Middle East. You know, there's a report saying we're like halfway out of Afghanistan. And now the bombs they're buying are for Pacific warfare and not Middle Eastern warfare. And it could just be we're all done. Middle East is over. We got enough oil. We've built enough nation. We're out. And because of that, well, we might as well buy bombs for Pacific because that's a bigger threat, right? Or it could be that we're actually gearing up towards a war with China. Now here's what freaks me out. The U.S. is in chaos, man. I mean, maybe we're not. Maybe it's all an illusion, but come on. You look at news, they're screaming out insurrection. Anderson Cooper claiming January 6th was the worst political attack on the U.S. since the Civil War. And I'm like, I seem to recall John F. Kennedy getting his head blown off, but okay, dude, whatever you say, that's insanity. What happens right now if China moves in on Taiwan and the U.S. can do nothing to stop it?
There it is.
I mean,
we have to stand by. There's no way. I don't think I would ever authorize arms against China
to defend
like
Taiwan.
Not unless it was our soil or like an ally or something. I mean, this is. I mean,
they're an ally.
They are an ally.
So this is where things get bad because if China does move into Taiwan and there's serious fear in the U.S. that they are planning an invasion. I mean, we see the beaching drills. There's photos of it. And their planes are flying over the Taiwan Strait. They're sending strike groups through the Strait of Taiwan. It's not just about Taiwan. It's about China's incursions into the South China Sea. It's about their military bases, their expansion, their violation of certain international conventions. So the fear I have is the U.S. is clearly preparing for war. China, they've been gearing up for some time. This is a more direct announcement. What this says to me is, do you think the U.S. military just decided right now that they're worried about war with China? Do you think it was just like today, they're like, hey, there might be war with China. Let's move our planes. Or is it more likely they got intelligence classified about a potential war with China, made a bunch of crazy economic moves behind the scenes, and then made the public moves everyone can see?
Could be. China also said, I think I heard from you, that China was like threatened nuclear war if we tried to investigate.
Yeah.
Well, in response to Biden's call for an investigation into COVID, the head of Global Times said, we need to start building more nuclear bombs, send a shiver down the spine of the American elite.
Okay, yeah, that's, I think.
Which is another way of saying we are innocent and didn't do anything wrong.
And obviously the incursions, the Hong Kong, the way they treated the protesters in Hong Kong was drastic. Taiwan fear.
I think we're in trouble, man.
Oh, 100%.
Joe Biden didn't commemorate D-Day.
Really?
Why not?
I don't know.
So
I don't.
weird.
I don't. Look. Here's one of the issues.
He probably didn't know what day it was.
Oh, that's
For
good.
sure. That's not even a joke.
No, I know. I'm
C-Day or
kidding.
E-Day? I don't
was
remember.
kidding because obviously people in his administration would know and make some kind of announcement.
Tell him to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, or tweet for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, here's one of the problems. I don't know every year, every tweet that's ever been sent out or every statement that's ever been made about D-Day. It could just be that now we're in this deeply tribal political realm. Conservatives noticed Biden didn't do this, brought it up, and then everyone's like, hey, why didn't you? And it's like, well, I don't know, maybe Jimmy Carter didn't. I don't know. Or maybe he still should have regardless. He didn't, and a lot of other people did. Maybe Kamala Harris saying enjoy the long weekend is also an alarming statement. Maybe Kamala Harris refusing to go to the border is also kind of alarming, and it makes me feel like our current administration is not invested in this country. I feel like we have an administration that in a normal timeline shouldn't have won, but we aren't in a normal timeline. What I mean by this is normally you get a strong administration that wants to win, that wants a policy, that wants to put things forward and make these demands. Well, that was Trump's administration. Man, did he want some crazy stuff, a big, beautiful wall from sea to shining sea, 30 feet, concrete. He had plans. He wanted things. Biden, his whole campaign was that he was not Trump. So what happens? People really didn't like Trump. A lot of things happen. We'll see what happens with this Maricopa stuff. Joe Biden ends up, getting 81 million votes. He wins the election with no plan. No one voted for anything. They just didn't want Trump. Now we have an administration that clearly doesn't care. So I want to say a normal timeline. They weren't proposing anything substantive other than Joe Biden was hiding the whole time. He was just like hiding in the basement. Everyone's like, "Where's Biden?" Oh, he's
Call the lid.
Yeah, calling a lid.
Yeah.
No press. So this is what you get. Now we're facing the very serious prospect of war with China. Our military seems to think so. And what can we expect in the event that war actually breaks out? My fear is that war will come to us no matter what we do. And this is a fear that a lot of people have in government, and it leads to very pro-war sentiment, which I disagree with, but the world is not so black and white. You can't just be like, I'm against war, therefore I will never go to war. And it's like, then you get wiped out.
No, I mean, I understand that I'm very anti-war. The number of wars that I would be willing to support, let's just say it's an extremely narrow subset. That said, this is a really complicated situation. I'm not going to sit here and automatically say there's nothing that could ever justify that. I very much do not want to see war with China, but this is an extremely complicated situation. And
let's talk.
It's one,
conspiracies.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Well, this is also, I mean, obviously we should do everything we possibly can to avoid that war if at all possible. I'm not coming down on one side or the other. I'm being the milquetoast fence sitter here, but it's also because I haven't, most of my interest in foreign policy has been directed towards the Middle East because that's where the United States has been screwing around for the past 2 decades. But when it comes to China, I guess I just hadn't really considered that it was a realistic possibility until very recently.
So you oppose war with China?
What?
You oppose war with China?
Yeah, I would like not to go to war with China, but also I have no idea. I mean, there could be reasons that someone brings to my attention. Yeah, I'm not dogmatic on this.
Just wanted to clarify real quick. Okay. So my position is, I don't want to go to war with China, but the war may come to us either way.
That's my point. Yes.
So I'm a bit more in the middle than you. That means, Ian, you have to take the pro-war with China position.
I'm obsessed with it.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ian's always telling me.
I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm sweating right now.
Dude, every single day, I see Ian sitting on the couch just cleaning his AR, and he's like, "We're getting ready. We're getting ready. You're all laughing at me now, but just wait."
He knits wool Chinese flags, and then he brings them out and he puts them on the archery board. And
Oh my god.
no, I'm kidding. But no, let's talk about conspiracies. It's not really a conspiracy. Conspiracy. It's a weird word, conspiracy,
But
right?
can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What do you think would have to happen to justify a war with China from your perspective, or what do you think would put you over the edge where you would say like we have no choice?
I don't know, man. I mean, usually it's like China beaching on California.
US soil.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Chinese
Like if they
ships,
start to invade and there's nothing else we can do, but
But it's more than that. Like if we sit back, and this is a really tough philosophical question, and just let them do whatever they want.
Exactly.
Make them get stronger and stronger.
Dude.
So it's like you sit back and you're like, China's building a new GPS system to rival the US's because we have the main GPS system used by everybody. They're going to become militaristically independent. They're taking in more imports than exports. They're doing beaching drills for Taiwan. They're trying to seize the South China Sea. They're sinking Vietnamese fishing boats. They're building military bases in violation of international conventions, and they just keep doing it. What happens if we do nothing? No, they'll keep doing it. And then eventually, once all our allies are crushed and our resources are limited, then they land their boats on our beaches, and we say, well, the one thing we got going for us, we got a gun behind every blade of grass.
Yeah, exactly.
We are a nation armed to the teeth, so they will never. I don't think it's possible to conquer America.
No.
I just don't think it's physical. Like you could literally
You could conquer California.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else,
easily.
it'd be really hard.
No, I don't. I mean,
I'm being facetious. It'd be difficult to take any scrap of land on this country. On this continent. Yeah.
Like you would have Confederate flag waving, Republicans from the I don't want to say deep South, but I don't know. Because it's not really
running over to California. The Californians would be like, "No, you need to leave.
No,
like we'd rather have the Chinese here than you."
No. There would be soy boys cowering with their purple mohawk, going like, "They're shooting at me," and it's like, "Don't worry, you're American. I may not like you at all, but we're being invaded." No, like you'll get the staunchest conservatives waving Confederate flags,
sure.
Trump flags, running into battle and defending the California soy boys.
Multiple
Being
weapons.
like, but there's the really serious problem about war with China. It's really easy to be like, I'm anti-war.
Exactly.
It is. Now, that's easy to say when we're talking about Syria and the Middle East. Oh, I get it. You want to build an oil pipeline. What did Biden do? Biden just approved Russia to build the pipeline anyway. So that is... Let's talk conspiracies, okay?
Oh, no.
I've been trying. You guys won't let me.
You want to take it?
I always, every single day, Tim just sends me these articles, and I have to send him Snopes fact checks.
Every time.
I say Tim, it's not true.
I have brought Seamus like 15 gay frogs, and he keeps telling me to shut up.
Tim, that frog is expressing itself a certain way that doesn't mean it has anything to do with the chemicals in the water or anything to do with that frog's orientation.
Here's what I mean. I don't mean like conspiracies. I say that because it's funny how they've turned that word into something that means like false story.
Weaponized
so what?
it.
Like when people talk about flat Earth, like it's a conspiracy theory. No. If you believe in stupid things, that's just you believing in stupid things. But let me say this: last year, the economy's locked down. What happened? A bunch of people in our major urban hubs moved, and they moved to random places we can't, like, they didn't all, the 500,000 people who left New York, they didn't just move from like New York to like Pittsburgh. No, they spread all over the place. Now, these are the people of means. These are heads of industry. These are wealthy individuals who command economics, who command the economy in this country. They decentralized. What else happened? We realized we couldn't manufacture things. We had no capability. We tried shoring up our manufacturing. Now we have a bipartisan bill. Democrats, Republicans agree. We need $250 billion towards industry in the United States. I think about these things, the decentralization of our economy, the moving out of cities. I mean, that's really fortunate for us should we enter war with China.
Buying guns?
If buying guns like
lots
crazy.
Lots of firearms.
The riots made people buy guns like crazy.
Yeah.
If a nuke dropped on New York, last year, the beginning of last year, it would wipe out tons of heads of industry. It would destroy our economy. The pandemic resulted in a decentralization. So I don't really mean conspiracy. I'm just saying how fortuitous for us in the event a war breaks out, these things happened. We got more people armed to the teeth in cities, in California. More people have left big cities and moved out to suburbs and moved out to rural areas, and they're working remote. All these things are really good news for a country about to go to war.
You know, the downside of working remote is you're at the whim of the electric grid, which could be a problem if that gets knocked out. But other than that, I think you're right.
Man, a big push to get off fossil fuels, and to get solar energy and renewables.
And so this is something I've been telling myself. Maybe it's just to cope because I'm very sad. But ammo has been ridiculously expensive for the past year and a half. And anyone who has any interest in firearms knows that. And when I see the prices, I get very sad. When I see the empty shelves, I'm sad. But what that means is that more Americans than ever before have ammunition. I mean, the reason the demand skyrocketed is because everyone went out and bought ammo. And that means the American public is now significantly better armed than they were prior to COVID. And I think that's fantastic.
I think I was buying 380 and it was like $1 a round or something insane. I'm just that's insane, man.
I wonder what it's at now.
I mean, ammo, wasn't it? I've been talking about like a good investment, and everyone's like, you got to buy this, you got to buy that. I'm like, I thought about it. And what I said, I've been saying for a while, think about the most common household item that's the hardest to produce. And that's probably a good investment. Because assuming there's like a major crisis or a war or something, otherwise, if the economy is going to keep on keeping on the way it is without ups and downs and quantitative easing, then you've got your standard gold, Bitcoin, whatever. But I'm talking about in the event of a war or some kind of conflict or crisis, what's a good investment? And so I think like mouthwash, really, really good. You can use it antiseptic. You can use it to clean your mouth. Really great because you don't want to get infected teeth or anything that can kill you. Actually, but more importantly, like if you get a cut, it's antiseptic and use it. So alcohol works, but alcohol you don't want to put in your mouth, right? So hydrogen peroxide, what's hard to produce, but iodine, really important. Yeah, iodine,
chlorine. That's been
so these simple household chemicals that we use all the time for cleaning, for helping ourselves. Those are probably good investments. But I thought about this, like if you're going to park your money in anything in fear of some kind of conflict, what would be a good place to do it? Water. Yeah, people need water.
Gasoline?
Gasoline doesn't stay.
Yeah.
After a while, gasoline.
There's powder. I don't know how this would work for a large supply, but I know that there are powders that you can put in gasoline to make it last longer.
Make it stay longer.
Oh. Yeah.
But there's other fuels you can. But I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Gold. Why? Why gold? We want to go, no. Gold is good if there's still confidence in our existing social structure.
Yeah, if there's actually going to be an economy to speak of.
Right. Bitcoin and gold are valuable because of the functioning economy as it stands today. Let's say we enter, a Walking Dead apocalypse scenario. I do not believe that's going to happen. I know. Because for the most part, it hasn't. I mean, countries have fallen, but they still have economies. But
I don't know why. I thought you were going in the zombie direction with them. For the most part, it hasn't. Like,
no. I mean, like, when countries or empires fall, people still keep working and eating and things carry on. So gold makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah. Well, look what happened when the USSR fell.
Right. People still, actually, it was crazy. People just walked into factories, took them over. But that's why I was thinking, like, a gun really is a good investment. Cars depreciate. Mm-hmm. A good working gun is going to go up in value.
If you take good care of it, and it's a decent weapon for sure.
Yeah. I mean, even a decent weapon, I mean, if things get really bad, any weapon's a good weapon. Any weapon's a decent weapon. Mm-hmm. But I was genuinely thinking about not the apocalypse. I'm just like, what's something you could buy for a couple $100? And then in a few years, it'll go up in value. And I'm like, guns not going to go down in value. I mean, and unless they ban all guns, they won't do. Joe Biden now, he wants to do a bunch of NFA things. So they want to make so right now, if you do a pistol with a brace, Joe Biden was saying that's a short barreled rifle.
Yep.
And I mean, I've talked to a lot of gun people who are kind of like, the brace is supposed to go on your arm,
I see.
But people just shoulder it, which is kind of like a stock. So they want to make that NFA. Which means NFA means it's National Firearms Act. It means it takes a year to get. It's like you got to go get your fingerprints, you got to go file paperwork, you got to pay $200 per item. They want to make it more difficult. In that instance, the guns actually go up in value because they're harder to get. Mm-hmm. So it's a good investment. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat. And we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.